What's up, America? This is beautiful Jack Stud. I'm coming to you from out there somewhere on the independent wrestling circuit. This is Tavern Tales. This is the show where I uncover the coolest, the weirdest, the most outrageous stories from backstage professional wrestling, one wrestler at a time. So grab yourself a cold one, and let's go see who we got waiting for me.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah!
What's up, America? This is beautiful Jack Stud. We're at the Oceanside Pavilions and Beer Garden right here in Port Hueneme, California. And today, this is Tavern Tales. My guest at this time, one half of PP Ray, the hottest tag team on the Southern California scene. This is the man himself, Ray Rosas.
Hey, how you doing, America? What's going on?
Thanks for being on the show, Ray. I appreciate it, man. So let's start out as we always do. What inspired you to become a professional wrestler? Why are you here?
Wow, man. It's just a lot of something I've been in love with since I was a young man. Little Ray Rosas back when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. You know, watching WWF on the TV, watching the old episodes of Livewire, getting really into it. Seeing all those recap videos and watching just all this grandeur and larger than life things going on. And you know, it was good to be like. You see someone like Shawn Michaels, and he's a little guy, and he's hanging in there with all those big dudes. And I was a little kid. I was a scrawny kid. I still am kind of scrawny, but you know, I do what I can. But you see how Shawn Michaels goes out there and he fights, and he's ready. You know, he's small. He doesn't care. He's gonna go toe to toe with the biggest dude. And I was like, I could do that. And I just fell in love with wrestling ever since, man. I started training.
Santino Brothers.
Yeah, Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. Yeah, right. In late 2008 or 2009, and since then it's just been a hell of a journey, hell of a road trip. I'll tell you that much.
Now, recently you had a big knee injury. Mm-hmm. During that time, you had your son born. Now you come back. You guys win the championship wrestling from Hollywood tag team titles. You win the AWS tag team titles in a great cage match with the Banditos. I mean, speak to the satisfaction of going through that whole tribulation and coming out on top.
Well. It's been a very up and down year. You know, I talked to the doctors sometime in January, and they said, like, knee surgery is going to be something that's got to happen. You know, we can either do it now or we can wait until like you absolutely positively need it. And I took it as a kind of like, you know, a good time to take some time off. But it was kind of unfortunate because I felt like I was really hot at the time. So I took, you know, having those 7 months off was really reflective for me. My son was born, so like that was a good light at the end of the tunnel for me.
Right.
You know, because you know, I was home more often because every weekend I'm wrestling 3 or 4 times a weekend, be gone all weekend, and you know, in a different state, different town, and so being home with my son, being there for him was great. You know, but I missed the atmosphere of wrestling. I missed the crowd, missed the ring, missed the boys. So when I finally got to come back and Peter's just right there waiting for me, ready to go, and we just kind of picked up where we left off. You know, and we captured the tag titles here in Hollywood. Unfortunately, we lost them back, but we lost them back in Mexico.
Right.
You know, that was another goal for us to have. You know, and then us and the Banditos had a fantastic cage match. Probably right now, my favorite match of all time in my entire career.
Nice.
You know, like it was such a magic moment where everything happened to just click perfectly. You know,
and the AWS crowd is awesome.
Oh yeah,
They're
and that if PP Ray ever had a home, like that was like, this is PP Ray's company, it would be AWS, because that crowd, that atmosphere is just tailor made for what PP Ray is and stands for.
No, it's definitely off the hook.
And you know, I had that cage match, and I bled for the entire match. Like I got busted open with like 5 minutes into this match, and I did not stop bleeding until I got home.
Nice.
You know, like the blood just kept coming out, and I never.
That's the mark of a true pro, baby.
I've never bled that much in my life, you know. But you know, it was like I said, it was a magical moment, you know. And the Banditos and Rock Nest Monsters, those are two teams that PP Ray have wrestled with so many times over the years, and they're our best opponents, or you know, some of our favorite opponents, and they always bring out the best in us. I would, if I could wrestle Rockness every Saturday and Banditos every Sunday for the rest of my career, I'd be totally fine with that. You know?
Nice. We're blessed to have a lot of great workers on the Southern California scene right now. I really appreciate you being on the show. You know, now I got to ask you the money question. What is your best tavern tale? What's the best story you can give me that you can give me in 3 or 4 minutes? Something weird, wild, outrageous that happened to you.
I'm going to tell you my favorite story.
Right.
You probably heard it before, but it's one of my favorite stories, and I tell everybody whenever they ask me like stuff, like favorite like backstage stories, something like that. Back when I was 5 or 6 years ago, I was a greenhorn, breaking into the business, being a videographer and a ring crew guy. And just do whatever I can, you know, like whenever.
Right.
We did the show New Hall, and a good friend of mine, Danny Monchichi Ramirez, was there, and he was referee, and he was cool. He was very cool to me.
Co-producer Munch.
Yeah, he was cool to me. But you know, I was up there filming stuff, taking pictures, trying to get footage for Joey and Mongol, and like I had this mentality where like if I ever saw Supreme, Joey, Mongol. Sylvia, or you know, like any of my trainers, if I ever saw them pick something up, I'd take it out of their hand.
Right.
Like they shouldn't be lifting anything. You know, like all the students are here. I'm here. I know I got to work hard and earn my spot. So I'm going to make sure that everything's taken care of, and in no time that they're picking anything up. You know, and that's how it was. The show was a New Hall. It was a great show. It was a debut show for Evolucha. It was a very short-run upstart promotion, which had it was a good developmental program, like developmental promotion.
Right.
Like a lot of newcomers would come through there, and a lot of trainers were helping the students. It was a great concept, you know, and it kind of morphed and became LCW and Santino Bros Wrestling Dojo shows. It kind of just developed into that. But anyway, I'm this greenhorn sweeping, cleaning, whatever, taking this ring apart, and some of the other students, or some of the more that were there established seniority over me, they're like, oh, there's a mess in the bathroom, and Supreme says to get one, you know, you guys have to go clean it. And it was me and one other student, and we go into the bathroom, and there is shit everywhere, like human brown feces all over the toilet seat, all over the floor, everywhere but inside the toilet. And they just hand me like this mop.
How'd they do that?
I don't know. Like someone, you had to have done that on purpose. And if whoever that person is, and you're watching this right now, 5 years later, 6 years later, you're in New Hall in January 17th of whatever 2000, I think it's 2009. Fuck you, so hard. And that asshole that shit out all that shit that you shit out.
All right, so you have to clean it.
I have to clean it, and I'll have this mop, and it's just gonna do nothing but smear it. It's just gonna smear all the shit all over the place. So I'm like, what am I gonna do here? The other guy was with me. He was like gagging and couldn't. He says, oh, I can't do this. And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, I guess I gotta do this because I'm the guy that's gonna do it, and I have to do it. It's just that old personal pride I had in my head, and then you know. So I'm trying to look around like, what do I gotta do to clean this? Nobody's like really helping me. Like, oh, I don't know, man. You just gotta fucking clean it. You know, like, how am I gonna clean this? Anybody got anything to? So I ended up going up to like where we were the concession stand where we were selling hot dogs, and I grabbed one of the hot dog bags, like the where we had all the buns in, I just like pretty much put it around my hand like a little plastic, like I was picking up dog crap if I was at a dog park, and that's what I had. And I just scooped it up and pushed it into the toilet and picked it up off the floor and dropped it in the toilet and was holding the shit. I'm looking at everybody's watching me do this, and I was like holding and looking at them with the shit in my hand. You know, bits of corns and peanuts and shit, just diarrhea, throwing it in there, and just scooped as best as I could, and then just like got some water and threw it in there, and just mopped it up, and it was disgusting. And that was like
that was your inauguration.
That was my breaking into the business, man. It's like made me do this, and then from then on, I was that guy that if anything needed to be taken care of backstage or cleaned up, I was that guy. Like, oh, it's puke over there, Ray, go take care of it. You know, and that's what I did to take care of it. You know, it took because something weird to take pride in, but I take pride in it. You know, I was that guy.
And now you're on top.
Yeah.
Now you're Ray Rosas, the champion. I'll tell you what, people. One of the most respectful dudes in the business. A great guy. One of the greatest workers that you're ever going to see at any level. Thank you for being on the show, Ray. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
America, this has been Tavern Tales. I am your host, beautiful Jack Stud. Stay safe, baby.
Later, America.